Hey, what's up, folks? This is Pastor Charles Humphrey of Hope's House Christian Ministries. I'd like to welcome you to our men's VIP conversation. The VIP conversation is a space where men are injecting men, and even women, with a dose of vision, inspiration, and purpose. Why, you ask? Well, the reason is simple. I know you have a big God-sized dream, a big God-sized vision, things you want to accomplish so you can impact the world around you. I also know that you have big opposition, big obstacles, big challenges ahead of you as you pursue those dreams. So we created this space to help you overcome the effects of procrastination, stagnation, and even intimidation of accomplishing that dream that's right before you, that's in your sight. So listen, we've assembled some great people, some great men who have experiences, backgrounds, and challenges they've overcame to pursue their dream as well. So I want you to pull up a chair, sit back, relax, and lean in and listen to these men as they share their vision, inspiration, and purpose with you. Let's get to it. I got my brother online here today, Eric Dawkins, amazing vocalist, amazing writer, producer, and we're going to just talk about things that have given him, more things that have led him to have some sense of vision, some purpose. What's inspired him? Let's find out what makes him tick. What's inside that head of his? Okay. So Eric, how you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm blessed. I'm here.
Yeah. Hey, that's a good thing to be here, brother. Still here.
Yes.
Still got things to do. Well, I want to give you a few questions and just to give some folks a few minutes of insight into where you've been, where you at, and where you're going, okay? Because I think there's some bright things ahead. So let's just jump right into it. So you obviously, I know you as a music vocalist. You and your brother form a group called Dawkins. When I was a child, I was only 2 years old. And for some reason, here you are still doing that thing, man. So what other things do you do besides sing, write, produce? What else is in your purview there, sir?
I'm actually I'm one of the vocal coaches for a show you may have heard of it called The Masked Singer.
Okay.
Also, I am the president of A&R at Legacy Music Group.
Okay.
I wear an executive hat as well as the artist hat, as well as the producer and writer hat. So
wow. So you're busy.
Busy is that's a good way to describe it. Busy.
Well, good deal. So since you are all these things, you have been in some interesting spaces with some probably amazing artists yourself. So and you can flex a little bit right here. You can name drop and impress it with the pedigree. So what type of projects have you been in that really stand out in your mind as great projects or things that are memorable for you as an artist?
I'll start off with I think a pivotal moment in my career. All producers from I would say from my era, and some after, would consider Quincy Jones as
the Godfather.
Yes, the Godfather of producers. I actually got a chance to work with Quincy some years back on a song that I wrote for a project that he put out called From Q with Love. It was a two CD set, and I had the pleasure of writing one song and then producing the vocals for a couple of other songs.
Wow.
But a particular song is a cool story. Like I did the vocal reference and everything. Actually, me and a friend of mine, Terrell, wrote the song. And producer was this cat named Rory Bennett. He's since passed.
Wow.
But we wrote the song and I did the vocal reference. The song ended up being for Elder Barge and Saida Garrett.
Okay, I know his names.
So the day of the session, I was all excited because I knew Quincy was going to show up to the session.
Right.
So I did all the stuff that I needed to do, and once I was done, they said Quincy is outside. He's coming in. wants to meet you and everything. So got a chance to meet him, talk to him for a few minutes or whatever. And I'm trying to have like as much cool as I can, but this is Quincy Jones. Like I'm, Sanford and Son, like The Wiz, like all this Michael Jackson, all the stuff is going through my head, and I'm standing here talking to this man.
Yeah.
And so we finished talking, and I go outside. I get on my phone. I'm calling my mom and dad, like, "Yo, I just met Quincy Jones. Quincy said he loves me. He's like said I'm like super talented, and he's like loves my work." And I'm like having a fan moment. And as I'm talking, one of the assistants came outside and tapped me. He's like, "Quincy wants to see you for a minute. He wants you to come back in here." So I was like, "Okay." Came back in. Quincy asks me to produce the song with him. Like he wants me to sit next to him at the console and help produce Saida Garrett and Elder Bard singing this song. Like and I'm at this point, my mind is totally blown. Like Quincy Jones is asking me,
wow,
of how they sound.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So that was a pivotal moment in my career, and just going past that, not too long after that, I remember me and my brother were doing a show. We were ministering in Seattle. Like we're backstage, about to go on. My phone rings, and it's an unrecognized number.
Right.
I answered it, and it's Quincy. Like he would just call me like out of the blue. Just call me.
You're like,
Quincy?
You mean are you stalking me?
Oh, it was the craziest thing, but that was like a pivotal moment. But I've worked with, I mean, you name it, I've worked with them. Mary J. Blige is one of the, I really love working with her. She's cool. Chris Brown, Justin Bieber, Tony Braxton, Tamar Braxton, Fantasia, Joe, Ruben Studdard, Backstreet Boys, Christina Aguilera, Tyrese.
I should have asked you who you had not worked with, right?
That would be an easier question because I people ask me who I've worked with, and I literally forget.
Yeah,
there's been so many. I've been fortunate to work with a lot of people.
Wow. So let me ask you this, because you've been in some pretty amazing spaces and had some great experiences. I didn't know you did all this stuff back in the day when I was listening to this Christian music, this cool Christian music back in the day with Dawkins and Dawkins. So how did you all get started doing vocals? And obviously you do a lot of writing. How did you transition to more of the writing and producing part?
Well, we got our start playing in the band for commissioned.
I thought you were going to say we started in the church, like Aretha Franklin.
Okay, well, let me go back to before we got our big break. We both, me and my brother, are musicians that played at my dad's church. Anson was the drummer. I played piano and keys. My mom played organ, and of course we used to sing with my mom when we were way younger. Like we started singing with her when we were like 4 and 5 years old.
Right.
And just from there, as we grew older, we started getting more and more into the musicianship of it, and formed a couple of groups that were local. Would do stuff around the state or the region.
Right.
And at a point, me and Anson, we just decided we wanted to do something larger, and the other guys were kind of content being local.
And
we had a different vision, and we just felt like God was way bigger than local. So the message that we wanted to put it on a larger stage. So got an opportunity to play a demo that we had done for Fred Hammond, and he, like on the spot, was like, "Yo, we need to be in the studio like yesterday."
Serious
project. But in the meantime, I think this was kind of his way of making sure we didn't get away. He hired us to play in the band was commissioned. So I played keys and Anson played percussions and some drum programming and stuff for the shows.
Wow.
And we sang background. So we did that for like 3 years, toured with them, and kind of cut our teeth in the music business.
Oh, big time.
Yeah, so it was a crash course in the music business for us, and we parted ways and started doing our own thing.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe a couple years after that, I decided I wanted to, go a little deeper into the writing and producing.
Mm-hmm.
So I moved from Detroit to Los Angeles in '96 and started establishing myself as a songwriter and producer. And,
Wow. Okay. And the rest is history. See, I didn't know when I was listening to Commission, I was listening to you now. I'm gonna go back and find them
Commission
old.
number 7.
I'm gonna find them old
We
tapes.
wrote.
The number
Yep.
7. Oh,
Yep.
I
Commission
got
number 7. We wrote like 3 songs on that project, and we're singing background. We're singing with Commission on that
Right.
project. So
Cool. See, I learned something today. So, what was your early inspiration back then? Was it like I saw somebody would be like them, or just the vibe, or atmosphere?
our house was musical. My parents listened to music. We had tons of records. But the people that we gravitated toward were like Rance Allen,
Yeah,
the Hawkins,
church folks.
Proud,
Yeah.
people like that really, really, I think, started shaping, our ears as far as gospel music is concerned. And then Winans came along.
Oh yeah, brother.
And we were like, that's nice. And then maybe 2 years after that, Commission came, and we were sold. We were like, this is what we do. Like, that was our standard. That was our bar right there. We wanted to be that. So we started studying Commission and got a chance to meet them a couple of times before we ended up being with them. And I remember one particular time we were at a show and we got to go backstage and we were talking to the guys, young cats. We had to be, 17, 18.
Wow.
Anson was like, I don't know who we are, but y'all gonna know. Not even knowing that maybe 2.5, 3 years later, we would actually be a part of the group.
Wow.
So yeah, we got our foot in there before we got our foot in there.
Man, if you had just said that, from my perspective, obviously, I've been around a little while. Yeah, all the names you mentioned, Hawkins, and then you got Andre Crouch. That was the foundation for everything, right? And he had such a huge catalog of music. Oh my God.
Huge.
And then we was cool with the Winans. Okay, Winans are super cool. Now the Commission, this is too much. Then y'all come along with this duo and these harmonies and everything. I'm like, who these Dawkins and Dawkins guys? And I started to age out a little bit.
Trust me, as many people as walk up to me and say, "Man, I grew up on y'all. Like,
right,
helped me get through my exams at college, and and my mom used to play out when we were in the house cleaning up on Saturdays." Old are you?
All right. You had a wide range of audience, I think.
Super wide. Like it went. I think our demographic was from like 6 to 38.
Yeah.
Like, it was crazy. Like kids
sense.
loved us, and so.
Well, we were hungry for a different sound because I know I first got him into Christianity. I had more of the contemporary conservative white sound, and I was like, okay, need something different, a little more urban.
Lowry's, little Frank's hot sauce on there.
Little seasoning, but little seasoning. Yeah. So we gonna leave the past in the past. Okay.
All right.
Foundational. So here you are now. You got the whole church start, Commission start. You moved on to doing things on your own with your brother, and so bigger vision. That's huge. What made you think you could do bigger vision? Because it's easy to be the little street corner group, and this is cool. And why were you? What piqued your interest? Was it just I want more, or?
I honestly, I never saw myself doing what I do now. I think we just, I can say we had and have a love for music. Our passion is music, so we were going to be doing music in some form, whether we were doing it professionally or just on making sure my dad's church, the church we were at, the music was on point. So, but as the the Bible says that gift will make room for you. So the room started getting bigger and bigger. So for
Yeah.
us, like, okay, let's move around in this room. Let's see what's happening. And
Right.
one thing to another, we started getting the attention of some really big people.
Right.
And one thing led to another, and I think that's really why I have the respect that I have now in the industry, because people remember from me from Dawkins and Dawkins is like, yo, I get cats like Teddy Riley
Mm.
telling me that, man, we used to listen to y'all on our tour bus
Wow.
along.
That's
Yeah,
crazy, huh?
Teddy Riley, Boy to me said the same thing. Like, I'm like, y'all used to listen to us,
Right.
listening to y'all. So
You never know, man.
you never
You know,
know.
you never know who's looking at you like, man, if I
Right.
wonderful. So I want to talk about your new project, but
Mm-hmm.
because you've had a lot of transitions,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to kind of focus on your faith and the communities of faith. I know we hear a lot of artists say, I started in the church, but then they like get way, way far away from church. You never knew they was in church sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
How do you find that balance? How do you stay grounded? What has helped you in, I'm sure there's been ups and downs, you know, financially, relationally, business wise. How have you stayed grounded in those spaces?
You met my parents, right?
Yeah, they gonna whip you if you get crazy. Enough said, right?
My parents are I feel like single handedly the reason why me and my brother have stayed so consistent and grounded in this. Um, it's just what they raised us on, and watching them, the example that they set was just, I mean, it was as close to perfect as you can get, like
Okay.
from their relationship
Okay.
to just how they treat people. And I never wanted to be that artist, or that I don't think of myself as a celebrity, but I never wanted to be that known person that treats people less than.
Right. Right. Right.
um, and I think being raised by my mom and dad is it, it's in there. It's like I can't get away from it. Like, even if I tried to be something different than this,
Right.
it would be real obvious that, okay, that's not who he is. So
Right.
that helped a whole lot. Like, I've been propositioned to do other stuff,
Right.
and I'll say this though, I don't have a problem. Like, I can't say that I would never do
Right.
like R&B or secular music, because I feel like music is really an expression of who you are. So
Yeah.
the stuff I would do would just be a reflection of me. Like, it's
What
the
comes out
life
of you?
I live comes out in my writing. Like, even stuff that I write for other people. And I tell people, my gauge really is, if I can't play it for my mom without feeling embarrassed, then I don't do it.
Wow.
So,
Gold standard.
oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
So you don't really, you hear sometimes, not even people in entertainment, just people who are believers in general, that they have this phase of the rebellious phase, the backsliding phase, the acting the fool phase. So, and I have met your dad, and we talked, and I'm like, I got much respect, your mom's, and so it sounds like you never really felt the pressure of one or the other, like faith or the world or secular versus whatever.
I remember when I even had the idea to do a secular project, a solo project. The struggle was because I'm so committed to my brother and what we started as Dawkins and Dawkins. I feel like if
Okay.
I did that, I would leave. I would leave him, and I wouldn't be able to do that again. So that's really kind of been the hold. Um, but when I got to a point where I feel like I at least want to try, I talked to my dad about it. And I talked to my brother, because those were the only two people that mattered.
To
Their
you, yeah.
mattered the most to me. It wasn't the girl I was dating at the time. It wasn't anybody but my brother and my father. And I talked to them and got their blessing, basically.
Wow.
And I said, son, if you want to do that, if that's something you feel like in your heart you want to do, then I support you 100%. And he even talked at the time I was going to City of Refuge.
Mm-hmm.
Jones was my pastor, and he and my dad are friends. So he even talked to Bishop Jones, and I got a call from Bishop Jones one day. He said, your dad called me and told me that you're thinking about secular music. I'll just say this. I know you, and I know you won't be out there doing this, that, and the other. You're grounded, and you're a good guy, and I support you. So whatever you need from me,
Wow.
I'm here for you. And I was like, yo, I got support from my brother, my dad, and Noel Jones.
Woo!
I'm good,
Man.
The crazy part is, like, I've done stuff all this time. I have probably a hard drive full of solo stuff that I could put out for my solo album.
You could create.
There's only been a couple things that have come out. But I just haven't gotten the total release. And now that the Dawkins thing is happening, this movement, I think it's going to take me probably a while before it even dies down. So that's on the back burner again. But I have stuff,
it's there.
It's locked and loaded, like ready to go whenever I feel like doing it. So
that's crazy, man. And then thank you for the bonus invitation. That was we gonna put this somewhere. He gonna see it.
Absolutely.
That was good. I wasn't ready for all that. So let's talk about this album, the single "In My Feelings." It's like in my mind. I knew I was talking to you. That is in my mind today. So I guess the hook is working. I'm like in my feelings. So I'm like, okay, I'm trying to put something else in my mind. Like, okay, can I replace it with something else, anything else? Stuff. So you got me. I'm hooked.
Good. That's what I like to hear.
Well, I'm just one person, but what are they saying? What's the word on the streets?
The feedback has been overwhelming. I'm one of those people who doesn't believe my own press.
Sure.
So to hear what people are saying and to read comments on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, it's just like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, God. Okay. And even in the realm of like the industry, like with charts and stuff like that, we've never been into like positions on charts. We're hearing stuff back now that there's one particular chart called Media Base.
Okay.
Music overall. It's not like one specific genre.
Mm-hmm.
I think we debuted at like 57 out of 200 on Media Base, which is, I had to ask, is that
legit?
And they were like, are you kidding me? That's like number 57 out of 200 of all genres, like
any kind.
And then the next week, it went to 43. So
wow.
I don't know where it is now, but the traction that the single has been getting has been like super, super overwhelming. And even the project, like their favorites, and then maybe a week later they come back and say, "Oh, now my favorite." So people's favorites are switching, and people giving us it's been a long time since I've had a project where I could listen from the top to the bottom,
right?
Anything.
Yeah,
that's a good feeling. So the response has been really, 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 really good, and it's just labor of love for us. Just us. We didn't set out to break any records or
right. This is just what you do. So how about the timing? Because like you mentioned in the discussion a while ago, you've always been connected to your brother in terms of you're not trying to do something totally different. You want to stay connected, even though you guys weren't singing together for quite some time, right? From back in the early days of my Christianity to now. So Why now? Why this? What sparked that?
I think the pandemic gave us a boost.
Okay, okay.
We were just like, I'm sitting around here in this room right here, my studio
Uh,
at home, and I'm like, either I'm gonna be creative or I'm gonna become a bum. And I'm
no,
allergic to being a bum.
no middle ground. Huh?
There's no middle ground. There's no halfway, no in between. Bum one day, productive. Nah. So I dove in head first, like maybe a week after they announced, the shelter in place and everything was shutting down. I dove in,
Really? Are you kidding me?
went crazy, creative. I ended up doing. I remember we had talked about me trying to do a song a day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh gosh.
Over a 3 week, 2.5, 3 week span, I did like 8 songs that ended up being songs that are going on one of the volumes
Wow.
of our project. We had a whole project done that we could have put out, but the creative jumpstart that the pandemic gave me just made me feel like why would we stop with that many songs? Let's just do a bunch of songs and see what happens.
Man.
And we got 4 volumes coming out.
Wow. That's a word right there, because for so many people, the pandemic put everything on hold. People came to a screeching halt. People were disoriented, and you said, "Wow."
I had to go because I had to. This was my thing. Like, who am I going to be on the other side of this pandemic? Am I going to be the same person that goes in here? And for me, anytime you go through something traumatic, you have to be something different on the other side of it. Or
oh my,
what
are you trying to preach? Man, that's my job.
That's how I'm feeling like I cannot be the same coming out of this. I mean, I am who I am, but I need to have something. I need to have a story. Like the children of Israel, when they marched through the dry land, they had a story coming out the other side. Because you can't do that and not have a story. So I think coming through this pandemic, which is, I mean, this is historic. Like, this never happened.
Amen.
Be something or do something, have something to say when you come out of it. Not the woe is me stories. Like, man, the pandemic really beat me up.
No.
How to beat you up? Because you came to your house and beat you up, or you were doing some stuff that you had no business doing, and you ended up catching COVID because you was being not careful,
right?
Or those type of things. And not to say people that got COVID weren't being careful, because some of them just were in the wrong place,
right? Just didn't know.
Yeah. So, but for me, I was just like, God, I need you to pour something in me that's going to make my story great on the other side of this pandemic. And
I think you're on your way, brother. I'm glad for this process that it sparked something new. And I think that's a lesson to all of our listeners, that anything that seems like a negative, God can somehow use that thing to catapult us to greater places. So,
absolutely.
So let me give you last couple questions. What's your wildest, audacious, big picture dream? Like, okay, if I get there, then like, wow, you have any, aside from this album going triple platinum or something like that?
That would be great. That would be great. Is it even possible to have? I have not small town mentality, because I was raised in a small town. Small town mentality with big dreams is like, I don't know what would make me say I've arrived. Right. I really don't know what would make me say that. It couldn't be I've had $1 million. That ain't, I mean, over my career I've made, I don't know how much, I couldn't even calculate it, but it's been some millions. But
right.
I can't say that would even fulfill me. I think just being available for whatever God has for me is what makes me fulfilled. Like,
cool.
If you say it's gonna be right here until you call me home, cool. You
Okay.
take me to the other side of that mountain. Cool, that's where we're going. And I'm still going to remain the same me, because I think what people do, they end up, setting these unrealistic goals. And the reason I say unrealistic is because they're not willing to do the work that it takes to reach that goal. They
Right.
just like, that's what I want to do, but I don't want to do the work to get there. I'm the opposite. Like, I'm gonna do the work. If I can get here, cool. If I don't, I'm still gonna do the work.
It's just who you are. Yeah.
Just who I am.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool. I like that. I like that. I like that. You continual progression.
Yeah.
Come hell or high water, as they say.
Career student, like I'm constantly learning. I don't ever feel like I know everything. There's always somebody I can learn from, or something I can learn from. So.
Okay. So since you have all this varied background, you're in a great place right now creatively, what would you say to the person, whether they're starting in church, starting in secular music, they want to be whatever, what kind of advice? I know there's a ton of things you could say. What kind of foundational things would you say to a young guy saying, I want to be where he's at one day?
Do your research. Do your research and know what you're getting into. Don't just see something and think that that's what you want to get into. If you see it, do research about it. Like, find out as much information about it as you can, because you might see some stuff that you have to do in order to get that makes you be like, oh.
Right.
Because people have a tendency to feel like, it's easy to do what we do, and it's so not.
Right.
So not easy. So I tell people to be really, really sure about this path, because it's not an easy path, and there's a lot of no's.
Yeah.
A lot of shut doors that were open, but as soon as they see you coming, they shut.
Yeah.
So you have to get real familiar and comfortable with rejection. Like, rejection needs to become one of your friends. Like,
wow.
Hang out with rejection, because it's coming, and there's going to be a lot of, before you get that one yes. And be consistent. Be who you are. Don't do the flip-flop thing and feel like because somebody doesn't like what you have to offer right now that it's never going to be good.
Right. Don't try to be trendy, huh? Like, that's the hottest thing now.
And I think that's one thing that's allowed me and my brother to stay as long as we have. Like, somebody said the best way to describe us is like, we leave for 10 years, don't do nothing, and come back and are still able to occupy the lane that we were in 10 years.
Yeah. Wow. That's good.
Jump in it. So
that's good.
That's because we're consistent. Like, we do what feels good. We don't try to chase the trends. We do timeless music, and it's authentic to us. So
yeah, that's good. I would see that for myself. So no, well, I'm gonna wrap this thing up. We didn't want to take too much time, but we did want to get a little insight to what makes you tick, what's given you some vision, what's inspired you over the years, and where you feel like that purpose is that God has for you on this earth, man. And I see it unfolding in different ways, and it's funny because once again, from the past Dawkins I knew, clearly God was doing some things then, but He's still doing things now, and I'm glad to see it and glad to have you on this here VIP conversation. I want to remind people that a VIP is not necessarily a celebrity. My definition of a VIP is a person who's operating in vision, inspiration, and purpose, and that's Eric Dawkins. So thank you, brother. God bless.
Thank you for having me.
Have a good night. We'll see y'all next time for more VIP conversations. Take care. Hey folks, listen, we want to thank you for joining us for this week's conversation. And remember, above all things, you don't have to be a celebrity to be a VIP. All you need to do is have a vision, inspire someone, and walk in God-given purpose. And don't forget to share this video with someone and drop us a note or message to let us know how this video was helpful for you. And we will see you soon.